1997. A great year for British film, when a number of rightly regarded classics came to our screens. But cross-referencing these with the raft of weird shit I have in my files has exposed a serious oversight. If you go through any list of the year's best British movies, you will not find a single mention of Alex Chandon's Pervirella. Now, I wouldn't blame you for assuming this is just some simple softcore exploitation flick. But what's interesting is that while Pervarella is trash, it's actually pretty ambitious high concept trash. A forthcoming attractions feature establishes the backstory and key roles of the film from the start. A putrid and utterly psychopathic Queen Victoria has established a monarchy of terror, walling off Britain, or Condon as it's called, and resetting history to begin with her reign. Her rule is only threatened by the cult of pervs, which is initially led by the demon nanny. Professor Rumphole Pump is sent to kill the nanny, but he ends up fornicating with her instead, and conceiving the titular Pervarella. Victoria's first for immortality also later sees her dispatch Pump, Pervarella, and several other grotesques to the land of Amazonia, where they search for a life-preserving elixir. And there's an orgy. And whatever the fuck this thing is. The epic plot is just one aspect of what makes Pervarella such a masterpiece. This film's pacing does not lull at all, and it also features wondrous special effects and modelling, which build upon the supermarionation techniques pioneered by the late, great Jerry Anderson. This is most evident in the beautifully realised vehicles which were created to bring Pervarella's magical voyage to life.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
And what's incredible is that Chandon ups the ante with each successive sequence, peaking with an absolutely thrilling and intense dogfight, which is unlike anything I've ever seen on the screen before. But beyond the film's imaginative steampunk aesthetic, Pervarella also provides a penetrating study of the supposed virtue of decency, and its hypocritical acknowledgement as a pillar of industrialised Western civilization. Its stark depiction of colonial imperialist diktat and the continuing repressive nature of our society marks Pervarella out as one of the last truly profound modernist critiques of 20th century cinema. Also, it features a lot of tits, two of which belong to Emily Booth, a fact which actually makes me kind of sad that I wasn't aware of this film at the time.
She's beautiful.
I was 13 in 1997. Knowing about this would have been handy. All joking aside, Booth has always been a reasonably talented actress, and she does a nice job of balancing Pervarella's doe-eyed wonder with her unabashed sexuality. In fact, it's honestly kind of difficult for me to pick out a truly awful performance in this film. Particular credit does need to go to Ron Drand as Pump, and Anthony Waghorn's dual roles as the scheming regent Sexton Ming and the utterly disgusting Queen Victoria. But more importantly, Booth remains an iconic figure in cult British cinema, much like her co-star Eileen Daly. Their appearances, combined with the film's distinctive style and subversive content, actually make Pervarella representative of a curious moment in British cinema. A strain of similarly distinctive films proliferated around the turn of the century, the two most prominent examples of which were arguably the cult vampire flick Razorblade Smile and the boring, pretentious, nunsploitation wank rag that is Nigel Wingrove's Sacred Flesh. Films like these shot adrenaline straight into the heart of UK horror and B-movies. They also occupy a transitional phase in the production and distribution of independent low to no budget films. The accessible, cost-effective digital shooting and post-production setups we take for granted today were only just beginning to emerge, meaning that these films were still largely reliant on more traditional production methods. But with Europe seeing the arrival of DVD video around 1998, such homegrown indies were also amongst the first films to see their home releases extend beyond VHS into the exciting new format. Also, it's important to note that the internet was starting to make a major impact on our daily lives around this time. Forums and sites dedicated to cult media in all of their Web 1.0 glory, as well as the earliest surge in online shopping, also greatly benefited the creators of these films. I've spun wildly off topic, so I should note that if you need something to compare Pervirella to, which believe me is actually quite difficult, I'd say that, at least in terms of tone, you could compare it to Peter Jackson's Bad Taste. And like Bad Taste, I'd say that Pervirella is a must-watch for anyone with a love of over-the-top, gleeful what-the-fuckery. Pervirella isn't amusing and entertaining in a so bad it's good way. It's legitimately very good despite, look at it. And so if you love cult cinema with a capital C, then I highly recommend you check it out.